Banks create money out of thin air. They won't be calling it money making, but rather fractional reserve system. Saying banks create money alone could lead potentially to misinterpretation and significant misinformation, as the reason why they do it is not to mess with the economy, but quite the contrary. The example in this explanation will shed the light on this concept and unravel the mystery on the mechanisms of fractional reserve system. Commercial banks, meaning the ones that accept deposits and offer trusts, are the only banks that are allowed to carry out this operation under the supervision of the central bank or the Federal Reserve in America. In the beginning, the bank receives a deposit from an individual. For the sake of this video, let's suppose it's equal to $1,000. The bank keeps 20% of that amount and then invests the other 80% through another commercial bank. The latter does the same, and so on. Since each bank is keeping 20% of the money, it makes sense that after a certain amount of steps, the initial deposits will run out. If we observe this operation, we could sum up the amount of money created with this equation. We have M, the initial deposit, and since the bank kept 20% of that and invested 80%, we have to add 8/10 of that, or simply 4/5 multiplied by M. And the next bank does the same thing, meaning we add 4/5 to the power of 2 multiplied by M, plus 4/5 to the power of 3 multiplied by M, and so on. And this is equal to R multiplied by M. Now for the people who studied maths, you recognize this as a geometric series, and the sum is known as follows. S is equal to M divided by 1 minus R, where M is the initial deposit and R is the ratio dictated by the central bank. Notice that the ratio in this example is what makes the banks keep 20% and invest the other 80%. And since R is 4/5, we get S is equal 5M, signifying that the initial deposit was multiplied by 5. And here, if you've been paying close attention, you must have deduced that this operation could go both ways. For example, if we suppose R is equal to -1, then we would end up with 1/2 M, indicating that the initial money was divided by 2, meaning banks could create money, but they could also unmake it or erase it from existence. Because fractional reserve system is a monetary policy tool under the control of the central bank that is supposed to push the economy forward in case of a recession or keep it at bay in times of inflation.